Hey guys, Aiden here with Lazy Acres, Texas, and today we got the Mini X in the barn and we're going to be showing you how to maintain your Mini X. And this is going to go for pretty much most of the Mini X brands, save a few. There's one called the Bison where this won't work on because the tracks are different and all that. And the maintenance will depend a little bit different per machine. You guys always need to make sure you read your owner and your engine manual and all that to make sure of all the maintenance you do. But for this machine, I'm going to go over, we're going to grease it, we're going to check engine oil, we're going to check hydraulic oil. I'm going to show you guys how to do all that. And we'll go from there. So stay tuned, guys. Alrighty, so for a quick walk about the machine, we're going to head to the boom first because this is where the majority of your greasing is going to be done. So there's pretty much a grease zerk in every pivot. That goes for the dozer blade down there. Every single pivot or bolt has some type of a zerk. All the main bolts in the boom. Save the manual thumb there. All the bolts for the buckets come around face this direction. Sun's a little bit bright. We're going to have bolts all the way up down this, or we're going to have zerks all the way up down this boom. There's a piston, and there's zerks in all these linkages right here. And same, bolts all the way down the side. And then down over here, there's zerks, I guess, for the internal workings of the machines. And then there's also, there's your going to be your hydraulic oil level. That'll tell you what your hydraulic oil level is, which, by the way, since we're here, I can tell I filled this up before, so we are still good on hydraulic oil. So we won't be needing to change hydraulic oil or add hydraulic oil today. We're going to check engine oil, though. I'll show you how to access the engine bay and all that here in a second. And there's multiple ways you can access the engine bay. You can pull off this little panel right here and pull off this big panel right here. Or in my case, because the seat is not attached to anything, set that down right there, you can open up the engine bay directly. And I gotta figure out how to do it because there's nothing to grab up onto. Alright, and this is your engine bay. It is a little dusty, so we're definitely gonna have to check the air filter. So I'm going to set up the tripod and I'm going to go through greasing first because that's probably one of the more important steps. Obviously, air filter is not any less important, but we're going to start with greasing first. So I'm going to set up the tripod so you guys can watch me grease the whole thing. Oh, and what you guys are going to need, you guys are going to need a grease gun, and you guys are going to need a rag because it will get messy. Alrighty, guys. So we're going to be starting out first with the first fitting we're going to use. It is this fitting right here. It's your standard grease gun fitting, I guess. And I say two fittings because there are two fittings we're going to end up using today. So I'll show you guys in just a second. So with this fitting right here, we're going to hit the side right here. And for now, I think that's it for these fittings. So we're going to switch fittings, and I'll show you guys that now. Alright guys, to remove this grease fitting, we're just going to spin off the grease fitting that's already on the grease gun, and I'll show you the next grease fitting we have right here. Make sure you set this in a spot where you're going to remember and not forget about it. Grab our little rag here. Wipe it off, make sure it's nice and clean. And I'm going to grab the other one, which I happen to have sitting in my pocket. And this is the next grease fitting we're going to be changing it out with. I don't know if you can see it very well. This is the next one. I don't know what it's called specifically. A lot of people change out for different grease zerks, but I actually like leaving the ones that use this point because a lot of the zerks you have to change out are going to be easily broken off if they're sticking out. So I think the flush ones are actually better, even though some people don't like them. So we're just going to take said zerk fitting, and I'm trying to hold multiple things at once, and it should just screw right onto the end of your screw gun. At least this does, and this is a Milwaukee. Oh, and I just dropped it. Don't do that. This is a Milwaukee grease gun, so it should fit standard on pretty much any grease gun. Alright, make sure it's nice and tight. Alright, it ain't going nowhere. Alright, and now we're going to go grease the rest of the Zerks. Your following pinpoint Zerk should be, we're going to start on the very end over here. For this point in the piston right here. Alright, and really quick on the gears under here, I'm going to shoot a little bit more grease. Just to be sure that it's getting all the grease it needs. So just to make sure they're getting plenty of grease. So now we're going to switch and we're going to check oil. We've already checked hydraulic fluid and we're going to clean the air filter. Check the air filter. So I'll show you guys how to do that right now. Alrighty guys, so step one of, I cleaned up the engine bay a little bit just so it wasn't as dusty. You can hear the cow in the background. So this is your exhaust right here. Step one, we're going to check the air filter. To remove the air filter, it's just a wing nut, at least on this machine, which is actually quite tight. I don't know why it was that tight. Is it tight? Oh, it's really tight. Alright, there we go. Almost there, and you're off. Put that right there to the side. You're going to pull off your cover. Not very much room in here, so you got to kind of move it out of the way. There we go. Just going to set that right there. So this is your air filter. There's another wing nut right here you need to lift up, and I can already see it's dusty, so we're going to have to take it up to the shop and clean it off. Make sure that is always maintained, because the less air your engine gets, the harder it's going to struggle and you're going to lose power. So you always want to make sure your air filter's clean. Just, I guess, a general rule of thumb with any bit of a machine, always make sure that the air filter's clean. Set the second wing nut side. Let's pull it off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It most definitely needs to be cleaned. So that's going to get cleaned right now. And make sure no dust gets inside there. To check your oil, it's kind of hard to see on this machine. Way down there, you see that little cap right there? That is the oil thing. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to record this part because it's gonna be a little bit in the way. Here, let me set the phone like this. Let me try and pull up the oil cap. Alright, where is it at? There we go. Sorry if you guys can see my hand. Alright. Oh, nope, that is the wrong cap. I just pulled out the wrong cap. That is the fill. So if you guys are looking for a spot to fill your oil, that's where you fill your oil. Okay. So it's the next second, so I can't show it. I was going to try and show it to you guys, but I can't. Alright, so our oil looks pretty good. Yeah, we're actually quite full, maybe a little over full, so oil is good, which is a good sign. It doesn't look black. I don't see any pieces of metal in it or anything, so that means it's working good. Alright, so that's it for checking the oil. I'm going to take the filter up to the shop right now. We're going to spray out the filter. And like I said, to check your hydraulic oil, you just look at this dial right here. It also tells you your oil temperature. So right now we're full. I don't know if you can tell, but we're full. I just filled it a few days ago, so we should be full. And really quick, I don't know how. I guess some of the grease must have spilled down onto the piston last time I greased it. Quickly gonna wipe that off because I don't like having grease on the piston. Given it probably doesn't change anything, but I just don't like it there. It's run all the way down the piston. Probably when the piston got warm, the grease melted a little bit. All right, there we go. And you can see I did it to where all the grease started to pop out of the joints. That means that there's adequate grease in all the joints. See, I made it. Went till it started popping out grease everywhere. So that's how I like to do it. That's how I learned how to do it. So there's grease sticking out of there. So all right, so as far as maintenance goes, that's I think about it. Yeah, we're gonna be doing more videos on the Mini X soon. We got the rake to test out. We got some hay in the barn that's going to be needed to clean out soon, just some scrap hay that kind of fell down. We're going to clean that out soon, so we might pull out the rake to test that. It's going to be a dusty job, so I'll have to wear a respirator. We got some hydraulic attachments we still need to test out. We have an auger. We have a tilt bucket, hydraulic tilt bucket for it. So we got some more stuff to check out, guys. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep posting more videos about the Mini X with more projects we're doing. We're also going to be dredging out one of our ponds. Soon we're going to be taking out the Mini X and trying to dredge out a pond with it. So stay tuned for that video. That'll be a fun video. And that should be coming up here soon. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.